We all know the story of this modern retelling of a Disney classic. Snow White is more fair than the evil queen, so the evil queen wants her killed, causing Snow White to have to go on the run in order to preserve her life. Film fans of YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, the Movie Apprentice, and today I am going to be looking at 2025's Snow White, directed by Marc Webb and starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White, Gadot as the evil queen, and Andrew Burnap as the prince that has now turned into a sort of Robin Hood character. Before I get into my review, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, click the like button and subscribe for more video reviews that's coming all the time. But without further ado, let's jump right into this. So Snow White 2025 has had the smear campaign treatment. There have been a lot of people that have boycotted this movie. There are people that are dismissing this movie as woke. It is getting heavily review bombed on IMDb, but I, quite frankly, am a personal fan of watching the damn movie and making your own damn opinions of it. And for me, this is one of those where the smear campaigners did not need to bother, because whilst I don't think it is the worst Disney live action remake ever made, this is just another it exists kind of Disney remake. To start off with, let's talk about some elements that do work for me in this. For one, I do like that Snow White herself is given a bit more of a character in this one. I am not a person that is holding the original on a pedestal. I quite frankly can't remember too much of the original outside of the obvious poison apple and that terrifying last sequence where the dwarfs taste the evil witch off a cliff. That is one of the most haunting moments of my childhood. In this, though, Snow White in that original, from what I remember, is almost a nothing princess, like a nothing character. She's just the main character. That is it. This one, she has a little bit more agency in this, and Rachel Zegler does a decent enough job. But I feel like in their efforts to modernize Snow White and to make it appeal more to a modern audience and tell the story in a fresh way, giving Snow White a bit more dynamics, they have just gone down the route of tropes. Let's talk about the prince that wakes her up that we don't see in the original until he comes to wake her up. This one they meet in advance so they can say she's consented to him waking her up with a kiss, and they do have this back and forth. He does play this hybrid of sort of your Star Lords, your Robin Hoods, your charismatic, charming bad boy that Snow White doesn't immediately like straight away. It's the stereotype of a scoundrel being selfish, the last calling him out on being selfish. They have this catty back and forth and they like each other. It is a trope we have seen a million times in movies. It feels like sometimes when it comes to forming a relationship in movies that are outside of rom-coms, it always falls into the two making jibes at each other and then realizing, oh, wait, we love each other. They genuinely have a scene where everyone implies they're together. They immediately deny it. And then 2 minutes later, there's a song and the kiss. There is no real natural build-up in the relationship. And yes, it is a Disney movie, so we can't really expect realistic build-ups of relationships. But it felt like in order to give more depth and weight to the relationship between Snow White and the prince, they just decided to go for the copy and paste method. Now let's talk about the Seven Dwarfs. Yes, they look like absolute nightmare fuel. The designs of these dwarfs aren't charming in the slightest. When you think of the original, I think of the designs of those original Seven Dwarfs, and in this one, they're just absolute nightmare fuel, and they almost are completely forgotten about. They have a song to introduce them and almost sarcastically say, yes, we know it's you because you're demonstrating this one thing. But it feels like there's very little for any of the dwarfs to do outside of Dopey. And yes, Dopey is a lot of people's favorites outside of Grumpy. It does feel like they focus way too much on Dopey in this one. And there is an angle they take with Dopey in this that I personally did not like. I feel like some people are going to like it, but for me, it felt like such a wishy-washy way to write this character, especially with their developments. As for the songs, because it is a musical, it's Disney after all, the songs, the original ones are decent. I would say that the ones that stick out the most to me are the rehashes of the old ones. The Hi Ho song is a nice little nostalgia trip. Whistle While You Work is probably my favorite of the songs in this, which is obviously from the original as well. I remember it a lot more in this one than I do from the original. I forgot there was a song in it, but in this one, it flew quite nicely. However, there are other songs that just feel very there's just a lot of very mid songs in this, and then we get to the villain song from Gal Gadot, and whoever had the idea to let Gal Gadot sing a villain song, this, I'm not gonna say it's the worst Disney villain song of all time because it feels like with a lot of live action remakes of Disney classics, they are underwhelming when it comes to villain songs. It was a hard scene to get through, and the choreography is decent in these songs, but it doesn't feel like they are blocked well or shot well. This is a film that lacks the magic. Now, I do like some of the changes they do. Like, I do like there's a bit of extra post the poison apple. It feels like the poison apple is a we need to get through that. And I do like how they build up the idea of what a symbol apples are in this world, in this local economy, that it makes more sense for Snow White to take the apple and eat it versus just being off an apple by an old crone randomly. There is more weight and depth to the idea of the apple being shared out between individuals. So I do like the world it sets up, the whole open section that builds a little bit more color and weight into the world. That is something I enjoyed as well. But when we get to the poison apple, the sleeping, the truth's kiss to wake her up, we have a little bit extra, and it feels like, yeah, let's go. Let's get a nice little finale in this. Let's refresh the system. And I did not like where it went afterwards. It felt like the solution made it seem like it was too easy to overthrow this queen, and no one plays an active role in it. There is genuinely a load of build-up of the dwarfs sneaking into a secret entrance and Jonathan picking up a crossbow, but it is mostly just talking the queen, letting him talk, and a simple case of I'm just not a fan of how the film resolved itself. Like I say, when I think of the original Snow White, which is the only comparison I'm really going to make as a negative against this film, there was just an element of suspense in that. Whereas in this, I felt no suspense in that final act. This just feels like another Disney film that is just, it exists. I don't hate the movie. I feel there's definitely good elements about it, but I also feel like this film could have done a lot more, especially with how much it promised to revamp the story. For me, I just don't feel like it worked very well, and there's a lot more working against it than there is working with it, which is a shame because I come into these films and I see all the controversy and the outside online vitriol around it, and I always end up in the middle ground. But in this one, I am leaning more towards the negative side of things. Before I get into my grade, if you've liked what you see on the channel so far, click that like button and subscribe for more video reviews that's coming all the time. But without further ado, let's grade this. Snow White is a modern reimagining of the original Disney feature that has been getting a lot of outside controversy, and it really didn't need to because this is a film that is like a lot of other Disney live action remakes. It just exists. Now, I do appreciate the film does different things. It doesn't just tell the exact same story from start to finish, which is where some of the worst Disney remakes have done, but it does feel like the stuff they added doesn't really add too much to the story. It has a nice layer of extra world building and has a bit more context to the apples, which I really appreciated. And Rachel Zegler does a decent job as Snow White, and I like that. The fairness for her isn't in her beauty, the superficial layer of it. It's very much she is more fair of heart than the beautiful queen. It's got a nice theme of the beauty on the inside will always surpass the beauty on the outside. Whereas in that original one, it's literally just, oh, this person's prettier than me. I want them killed off. There is a level of jealousy in the queen. And Gal Gadot's performance, I've not said much about it. It's a Gal Gadot performance. The song was cringy, but in terms of the performance, I don't expect much more from Gal Gadot. So that's all I'm going to say on that front. The romance, it has its strong moments, has its weak moments. Snow White for me is just another live action Disney remake that doesn't do enough to live long in the memory. I feel like all the smear campaign against it is doing more for the movie than the movie is doing for itself. I'm going to have to say that for me, Snow White 2025 is a lukewarm cup of tea. So Snow White 2025, have you seen it? If you have, let me know genuinely what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Going over on the channel, going to be putting up a poll tomorrow because there are 4 new films coming out this weekend. Jesus Christ, there's been so many movies this month. So many movies. So I'm gonna be doing a poll out of what you want to see prioritized next. Gonna be reviewing Death of Unicorn as well. Probably on the Tuesday. I've also got my end of month tier list that I'm probably gonna do on Monday. I am seeing Death of Unicorn Monday evening, but that's the very last day of the month. So I might just push that to the April tier list. But make sure you're subscribed for all that content. And until next time, everybody, I am Josh. I have been Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.